you, Deborah. You've just heard from Deborah about suggestions for improvement in effective conflict management. I'm Angela, and I'm going to talk to you about poor examples turned good and the value of professional behavior. In the next slide, you're going to see my first example. This example has to do with listening. In the first situation, an employee asks a boss a question. The boss is distracted and doesn't look up. The result of this? Confusion and misunderstanding. In the second situation, the employee asks the boss a question, but this time, the boss makes eye contact and listens intently. The result here, in this situation, is clarification and direction. The next slide, you're going to see another example. This example shows how communication can affect the environment. In the first situation, the boss is out in the hallway talking with employees, but the boss is using sarcasm and is humiliating one of the employees. The result is a negative work environment. Everyone assumes that if the boss is talking about someone else like that, then they could talk about them like that also. Now in the second situation, where we have improved communication, the boss is out in the hallway talking with employees, but this time the boss compliments and is encouraging. The result in this situation is much different from the first one. This results in a positive work environment. Negativity can bring everyone down, and positivity can lift everyone up. The next slide, you're going to see my last example. This third example is when we assume something. So if we assume that we know what we're supposed to do and decide that we're not going to clarify it with anyone, it gives us a lack of knowledge and a lack of direction. So the result here is that we could be doing things wrong. So now if we have improved communication and we use the same situation, but we assume that we know what we're supposed to do, but we decide we're going to double check anyways, it gives us clarity and a feeling of support. And the result is doing things correctly. Nobody wants to do things wrong and make mistakes. So now that I've talked about poor examples turned good, in the next slide, I'm going to talk about the value of professional behavior. So what exactly is professional behavior? Well, according to AHO, in the 2013 issue of Building Research and Information, professionalism uses skills and competence along with a particular attitude, mindset, and approach. In other words, professional behavior is not just a way we look. Professional behavior is an attitude and an approach that someone has. The next slide, you're going to see some characteristics of professional behavior. Some of the characteristics are integrity, positivity, respectfulness, dependability, and being considerate of others. These all sound like good characteristics that anyone would want to have. The next slide is going to show you why professional behavior is valuable. Now, there's probably several reasons why it's valuable, but a couple of the reasons are from Gronkowski, and she stated in 2012 that professional behavior affects morale and shows commitment. It also creates a better working environment. It creates better working relationships, and groups have higher standards. No one wants to be in a group with people that are negative and when you are around good people, it makes you want to be better. Now that I've talked to you about poor examples turned good and the value of professional behavior, I'm going to turn it over to James, and he's going to talk to you about the conclusion.